Somewhere over the rainbow, birds fly, over the rainbow.
Hello everybody, this is Overboy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 1996 movie Fear. So, this movie follows Nicole Walker, who has always dreamed of being swept away by someone special, and someone strong, sexy, and sensitive who would care for her more than anything else in the world. And David is all that and more when she meets him, and he's pretty much like her modern day knight in shining armor who charms and seduces her body and soul, but her perfect boyfriend is not all he seems to be, and his sweet facade masks a savage dark side that will soon transform Nicole's dream into a nightmare. So this is a really great stalker thriller from the 90s. I've always loved this movie ever since I saw it for the first time back when I was a teenager. I think this is a really great movie. Reese Witherspoon is just absolutely excellent in here as Nicole. She did such a great job and everything playing her, and she has this likability and charm to her, and she has this she's kind of naive and stuff. She doesn't listen to her dad about David and everything, doesn't take any of his advice throughout most of the movie like you kind of expect as a typical teenager would, especially in a movie like this and everything. And I don't think she realizes how crazy David is and stuff until she catches him cheating on her and everything, and then she breaks up with him, and he goes all crazy, and him and his friends like go to attack their house and stuff, and it's really crazy. But I think Reese Witherspoon did a really great job as Nicole. It's one of my favorite performances of hers, and one of my favorite movies of hers too. And Mark Wahlberg as David is just absolutely great. This was my very first Mark Wahlberg movie. He had been around and stuff. Well, no, actually it wasn't my very first. I keep forgetting that he's in A Perfect Storm, so I guess this was my second one, but this was the first one where he was a starring role that I watched that kind of got me interested in Mark Wahlberg, because before that I had heard of him and knew who he was and stuff, but I just wasn't really that interested in seeing his stuff and everything. And then I saw this movie and I was like, this dude might actually be a pretty good actor, and he's become one of my favorites ever since I watched this movie. And he's still one of my favorite actors working today. I love him. Mark Wahlberg is a really great actor. He's done some questionable stuff in his personal life in his past that I don't really like, but I think he's a good actor. And he's really creepy as David, but he does a really great job. At first he's really charming and everything that you would expect him to be and everything. He's charming and likable and stuff like Mark Wahlberg is a lot of times and everything. And then as the movie progresses, you start seeing his dark side, and you just see it little bits, like in his facial expressions, and you can tell there is a little something off about him. And then it takes a big turn and everything, and you start seeing how crazy he is as the movie goes on, and how unlikable the dude really becomes and everything. And Mark Wahlberg just does such a great job at playing that character, where at first he's kind of likable, but you can tell there's something off. And as the movie goes on, he becomes crazier and crazier, and it's just works really good. And I think the father-daughter relationship between Nicole and her father in this movie is really well written, and the actor that plays her dad does a really great job. And everything, he's great in here too. So I think the performances are all good and everything, but especially Reese Witherspoon and Mark Wahlberg, they were just really great in here. And Carter Burwell's score is just absolutely amazing. It adds this eeriness to the movie that you feel this sense of dread throughout the whole movie and everything, and it works really well for the story and everything. The roller coaster scene, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. When I saw that scene for the very first time, it awoke something in me as a teenager. That scene was something else, and everything. It's really really something I wanted to, I didn't know which one I wanted to be, if I wanted to be her or him, because that scene was, that was one of the hottest scenes in the history of cinema, I gotta say. But, and the movie does use a lot of stalker cliches and stuff, but does them in a way that still makes the movie effective and not feel bland or anything. And I like that too about it and everything. As far as negatives go, I don't have a lot of negatives. The main two are, first off, they had to kill poor Kyver the dog. He's a German Shepherd. I'm not really a dog person. I don't hate dogs or anything. I'm not a monster, but I'm just not really a big dog person. But I always have had soft spots for German Shepherds and stuff, and I didn't like seeing Kyver get killed because I don't think that poor dog deserved it and everything. German Shepherds are usually really good boys, and Kyver was a good boy, so it was worthy of seeing Mark Wahlberg die in this movie just because what he did to poor Kyver in this movie, because he did not deserve that, poor doggy. And then my biggest negative with the movie is they over-sexualized Reese Witherspoon in this movie, like, a lot. Now, I know I've talked about that one scene being pretty hot and everything, but in that one, I can't deny it, but there were other scenes in there where they just really over-sexualized her and stuff and everything. I get having to have some sexuality because of it being a thriller type and stuff. They wanted to like make it that he was a monster that took her innocence and stuff. I get what they were doing with it, but it just I wish they would have done it a little bit better. I think Reese Witherspoon was a trooper and stuff throughout this movie and everything, but I do feel like they over-sexualized her in it and everything. I don't think they would have done that nowadays, but it's hard to say. They still do it sometimes with people nowadays. But all in all, I think this is a very underrated thriller from the 90s. I know some people that like it, that are into like movies that aren't as popular with the mainstream public like this one. I think it did okay when it first came out and everything, but it doesn't get talked about near as much as it should. It's really fun movie and really enjoyable. It's one of Reese Witherspoon's best movies from that time period too, and everything. When she was first starting out, she was just great in here. And like I said, this movie is one of the reasons why she's one of my favorite actresses. Her and Mark Wahlberg is one of my favorite actors nowadays because of this movie and everything. So I'm gonna go as far to say that I give this one an A. I love this one and everything. So let me know in the comments what you think of the movie Fear. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I'm not sure if it's on any of the streaming services, but I'm actually going to check for y'all real quick, because I highly recommend it if y'all haven't seen it. It says it's on Amazon Prime, but it's like to rent for $3.79 or to buy or something, I don't know. But it's definitely worth checking out. If you want to see a really good thriller with two great actors and stuff when they were first starting out, this is a really good one. If you're a fan of Reese Witherspoon or Mark Wahlberg, this is definitely a must-see for either one of them and everything, and it's a really good movie, so I highly recommend it. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of the movie Fear, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.